Hello, and thank you for listening to WRYAT, New Orleans' fifth-ranked public radio station. As always, we're broadcasting live from a prefabricated Home Depot shed located off of South Carrollton by the Popeyes.
It's another damp and humid evening in a city with a new mystery every day. But tucked away in the janitor's broom closet of the NOPD headquarters, a light flickers where Float Cop, a no-nonsense, parentless, parade department detective, is hard at work trying to find answers to New Orleans' most pressing questions.
Last time on Float Cop.
I understand Mardi Gras is a time to let loose, but you know just as well as I do, some people let loose too much and too fast. I'm just doing my job, King of Rex, by creating a safe environment for everyone to enjoy themselves.
Oh yeah? Let loose? Just like your dad at Mom's ball all those years ago.
What do you know about my father?
I know he was a man with a taste for the perverse.
What did you say, you son of a bitch?
It seems I've struck a nerve. You mean to tell me you've never wondered the truth about your parents?
I know they were good people who died too young in a city that's too old.
Sure, but good people can still make mistakes, just like your father did when he decided to make love to one of my floats at the ball.
What?
Or what? You've never wondered why you don't look anything like your mother? Or should I say, your stepmother?
It couldn't be true. My mother was a New Orleans saint, and my parents were deeply in love. But I had always felt distant in some ways, like I was more a son of the city than I ever was of my parents. But the King of Rex was right. I didn't look a thing like my mother. Tell me what you know about my parents.
Ow! Your weird-ass father. He fucked one of my floats at Mom's ball, and 9 months later, it gave birth to a half-man, half-float thing. And ever since, that half-man, half-float thing has been a major thorn in my grits.
Am I the float man you speak of?
Even worse, you're the float cop I speak of.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I'd always been aware of my box-like papier-mâché structure, but it all made sense now. I wasn't just a float cop. I was a float man.
And I've spent countless money and time making sure that you stayed out of the picture, distracted you, if you will, so the rest of us could enjoy true Mardi Gras. I even had your dad and your stepmom whacked before sending your real mother out to Chalmette to become a truck float, all to keep you distracted.
What? My intense shock turned to intense anger.
That's right. All those mysteries, misleading graffiti tags, flipped cars, strange sounds at night, low-flying planes and helicopters. All of it was to keep you from snooping around the true business of Mardi Gras. My business!
He said if I did bad stuff for him, he'd make me the queen of Nyx.
I don't know what to say.
You can say goodbye.
Oh, it's a gun.
A gun. He's got a gun.
How? A gun?
All right. Goodbye, King of Rex. You're under arrest for the murder of my parents.
You can't arrest me. You don't have a badge or a gun anymore. You're a disgrace.
That's what you think. Get 'em, boys.
What the? I thought Josephine saw to it that you were off the force.
I may be currently off the force, but I've had the XXX bar under surveillance since episode 1. I knew the moment I saw plagiarized Resner tags that something was fishy. And as the D'Amicos always say, when you're fishing for something fishy, sometimes the best thing to have is patience.
Damn you, float cop! Damn you!
Take 'em away, boys. New Orleans was safe once again.
Oh, good work there, FC. And sorry about releasing you. We should have known someone was behind all the weird shit going on around the Mardi Gras.
Not a problem, Chief. Anything to protect my city.
Perfect. Well, here's your new badge, and here's your gun. Welcome back to the Force, FC.
Aren't you worried about my other gun and badge still floating around out there?
Oh, nah. Missing guns is nothing new in this city. Besides, we wouldn't want to deprive you of another potential mystery to solve, huh?
Thanks, Chief.
Yeah, don't mention it. But hey, I gotta know. Now that you've exposed one of the biggest Mardi Gras crime syndicates, what is next?
The King of Rex mentioned sending my actual float mother away to a truck parade in Chalmette. I think maybe I'll start my search for her there, but I'm honestly not worried about it. Because there's a new mystery every day in this city for me to investigate. And at 301 years old, that's a hell of a lot of mysteries.
We hope you enjoyed the Float Cop season finale. Follow WRYAT for future updates on New Orleans' #1 police parade department detective, Float Cop.
Bonjour and welcome to another edition of Get Sticky With It, the elite sophisticate guide to the New Orleans snowball. My name is Jeffrey Chaucer Buck Yates the Eighth. I am a true full-blooded New Orleanian. My bloodline extends through 2 kings of France to Huey P. Long, continues through 3 members of the Brennan's family, and glories out to at least 1 hot boy from the group The Hot Boys. I am the world's preeminent authority on the aforementioned snowball. At our own prestigious Tulane University, I hold the position of Snowball Laureate in residence, and there I hold the record for giving the most amount of A-pluses to the greatest amount of Republican congressmen in all of the history of that august institution, Tulane School of Tropical Finance. Now, I wish to address the cavalcade of tweets my assistant printed out for me, criticizing my review of City Park snowballs. I said last week that they were the confectionery equivalent of the Khmer Rouge, and I stand by that. I regret only my restraint, for City Park snowballs is a cultural menace. It too propagates the revisionists' agenda to the tradition and stability of our forefathers' snowball visions, and I will never cede City Park snowballs a good review as long as they participate in the violent fad of edible glitter. As far as I'm concerned, they could use the most elite snow wizard machine to shave all the purified ice flakes they want, but in their hands, it's adorning Victorian lace on a rodeo clown. Now, as for today's show, we have a guest, someone who, I'm told, has a degree of snowball expertise that approaches mine own. An award-winning chef with a PhD in chemistry, Dr. Emile Lorenzo. Salutations, Amy.
Hi, Joffrey. I'm very excited to be here.
Yes, quite. Dr. Emile, to be frank, you are on the show because my producer, Madison Yas Queen, insisted that you would be a compelling quote-unquote get. However, a well-disciplined show needs no guests and fewer dilettantes, for it can be buoyed by the strength of its host's mores. So I ask you, what could you possibly know about snowballs that makes you qualified to speak to our distinguished snowball enthusiasts?
Well, Joffrey, as a professional chef, one of the things that most fascinates me about New Orleans is the food stand culture, which I first discovered when I began my undergrad at Tulane.
Ah, a female greenie, I see. Well, that's quite splendid to hear, and does indicate you originate from good stock. So let me give you the courtesy of first explaining what a proper snowball is.
Well, thank you, but that's not necessary, Joffrey.
You see, in order to meet a recipe of authentic quality, you need shaved ice and not cracked ice. And also, you need a cup and not, say, a Chinese takeout container like some godless exhibitionists used to shock our collective senses of propriety. And the flavoring is to be drizzled and not free-poured, or else the tang of the nectar could impinge upon the crispness of the ice, and it could also upset the delicate composition of our sensitive stomachs and send us to the hospital like it did in 1985.
I apologize, Mr. Joffrey, but believe it or not, I do know how to make snowballs. In fact, you may find this interesting. My new cookbook, The Chemistry of Yum, has several snowball recipes that actually achieve umami through 100% natural ingredients.
Umami.
Yes.
And what, pray tell, is umami?
Great question. Umami is the Japanese concept of a fifth flavor. It's kind of like savoriness that you can find in broths or gravies or soy sauce.
So you're saying you've made a gravy-flavored snowball?
Well, not that in particular, but the book does contain a recipe for a coconut curry snowball, and I actually brought a sample for you to try.
By Christ's wounds, woman, what is this pop doodle you're peddling?
Just try it, Joffrey. Once you take a bite, I swear, it'll be your new favorite snowball flavor.
I won't insult your intelligence by suggesting that you really believe what you just said.
Oh, okay. All the more coconut curry snowball for me. Hey, you can't knock food out of someone's hand while they're eating. That's rude.
Cease this savage chaos. I stand here thwart history and yell, stop!
I'm sorry, I guess. I didn't realize that you'd be offended so much. I mean, it's just a snowball flavor, Joffrey.
Just a snowball flavor. Just a snowball flavor? Doctor, first, they change our snowball flavors. They tell us a shoe is as tasty as a strawberry, surely as you please. And then they tell us a chopstick is a spoon. And then animals are people. And then jazz is music. And up is down, blue is brown. And before you know it, there's a dog in the White House with his paw on the button. And your children are throwing tennis balls for table scraps. And is that the world you want to live in, Doctor?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I am just here to talk about snowballs.
Yes, you are. And there are only 14 acceptable snowball flavors, and they are the ones from the original Hanson's menu in 1939. If you're talking about anything else, you are not talking about snowballs.
Okay, that's fine. I can talk about Hanson's.
Excellent, then. Let's talk about Hanson's.
Well, did you know Hanson's now has an option to put marshmallows on your snowball?
That's it. Get out.
Fine, I will. And you know what? Snowballs aren't that good. Vietnamese coffee cream is light years better.
Now, you listen here, you food quack. You exit the studio right now, or your face will be Vietnamese cream.
Well, I'm supposed to be afraid of you? You got sent to the hospital by a rough snowball pour.
I said excellent. That is all the time we have for today. Please join us next week on our continued march to the indisputable truth about all things Snowball. Next week, I plan to talk to my good friend, the Baron of the Audubon Zoo, and convince him to fire the employee that told him his snowball stand should sell sugar-free cherry. This has been Geoffrey Chaucer Buck Yeats the Eighth. I wish you a good snowball and a good night.
We now pause this programming for station identification and remind you that you are tuned in to WRYAT New Orleans Guerrilla Radio. Learn more about our programming online at WRYATradio.com and follow us on Instagram at WRYAT Radio. As always, you can listen to this and previous radio broadcasts on Spotify or anywhere else you download or stream podcasts. Thank you for tuning in to WRYAT New Orleans Guerrilla Radio.
everybody. Thanks for tuning in to a new segment with Luke Guru called What Grinds My Gears. And no, I don't have a musical calendar because we're not able to be doing that right now. But I do have a PSA because I'm a public servant, and this is an announcement. So 2020, it's been pretty difficult for everybody. And, living has been different, and you can't do the things that you used to be able to do. I mean, I am so lonely. I live here in the studio now. But there's not a lot of people who come in to do their thing. They're all working from home. And so I miss people. I miss seeing people. I miss going out and reporting on stuff. I miss going to see people do, art. I miss my art friends. I miss people doing the music. I miss my music friends and dancing. I miss my dancing friends. I just miss the art. I miss reporting on it. I miss telling you about it. I miss you being able to hear about it and going to see it yourself. Try not to get worked up. This is a public service announcement. So what I want to say is that we here at the WRYAT studio has been in contact with the mayor's office. Yes, we have. And the reason is because if anything's going on in the city, I want to know about it. So the mayor's office promised that if anybody calls to say we want to request a permit and they're going to do something that's going to be permittable by the city, that she will have her office call us. So if you have any scoop that the mayor should know about, please give me a call and I'll call the mayor's office and then they can call me back and I can report on it. So here's something that wasn't approved by the mayor's office that happened, and I'm going to report on it now as a public service announcement. Last week, there was a lettuce warship in the middle of the French Quarter. The Trust and Garden of Eden people came through, and they were led by Mr. Sean Foot and Lauren Dongle. Hashtag lettuce warship. And they asked for a permit, and the mayor said no. And then so couldn't report on it, but then they did it. And then they had a PA set up, and I know all the PA people in the soundmen in the city, and I promise you, not one of them was working for them. So they had to have brought some people in from out of state. And that also brings me to the next thing. If I couldn't tell you guys about it, then how were there so many people there? A fake crowd. They brought those people in with them, and that didn't give any of the New Orleanians an opportunity to not hunker down and come have an enjoyable thing to do that was permittable because it wasn't permitted by the city. Look, this is a public service announcement. I'm trying not to get worked up, but if you have anything, please call me at the studio and I will gladly give a little heads up to the city if it's permittable. I know I sounded like a broken record, but man, that's what really scratches my record.
What is a man? Is a man a set of physical traits like a pencil mustache or a pattern of baldness? Is a man a set of behaviors like laughing at the Three Stooges or crying during your hometown's Paramount sports team victory? Or is a man an idea, a hope, a dream, an ideal? My doctor says I'm a man, and my ex-wife said I was manlike. But how would they know? How would they really know? In our hearts, we all have a feeling for what a man is. So let's take a cue from the chromosome that determines a man and ask, why? Let's find an answer to the manliness question. I'm Ira Glass, and you're listening to Deus Ex Macho Man. Today, on Deus Ex Macho Man, we're going to talk about tattoos, butterfly wings, hearts, skulls, tribal designs if you were in a white fraternity in 2005. These are the ways we bring our inner life to our skin's surface, an inky beacon to the stories behind our fleshy masks. And I'm told by my younger office staff, tattoos are one way men denote their manliness. After a bit of research, I learned the following. Men in Polynesian cultures tattoo their skin as a rite of passage into adulthood. Circus performers and military men get tattoos to denote their worldliness and experience. The protagonist from Memento got tattoos so he could figure out a twist ending 40 minutes after the audience did. In short, tattoos signify manliness. But I wanted to know more. To discuss the ritual of the tattoo, I went down to my local tattoo shop, Electric Ladyland. However, it was closed due to the pandemic. So I drove to my next closest tattoo shop live at Woodstock, and it was also closed. Finally, I drove 3 hours to another state and walked into a tattoo shop called Jimi Hendrix's Greatest Hits. Hello. Do you have time to talk to me about tattoos?
Maybe.
Great. I'm Ira.
Name's Ed.
Well, Ed, I know you're busy with your phone there, but let's say I want a tattoo to make me manly. What would that look like?
I don't know.
Yes, of course. I guess I do need to give you something to work off of. Well, let's see. If I think of men with manly tattoos, I think of that rugby player, Aaron Smith, from New Zealand's team, the All Blacks. Do you follow them?
No.
Yeah, me neither. It's just something my producer told me to say to talk to other men about manliness. Okay, well, I guess I'm saying I think I want a tattoo that gives me the nobility of the Maori warrior.
A Tomoko pattern is $400, and there's samples on the wall.
Interesting. That's a little too ornate for me, and I'm afraid it could be cultural appropriation. Besides, my book club just read Herman Melville's Moby Dick, and I don't think I could take everyone making constant queequeg jokes at my expense. That makes sense, right?
I don't care.
Let me try something else. What if I said, I want something that gives me the manly, freewheeling, devil-may-care attitude of a naval officer on shore leave?
A Sailor Jerry design is $100. Samples also on the wall.
Oh, well, they look great. But that's a bit too much like a Barry Blitz New Yorker cover for my tastes. Actually, do you have any Saul Steinberg New Yorker covers you could tattoo?
No, man, I don't.
Ah, shoot. Well, that would probably be a bit too manly anyway. I don't want to look like I'm trying too hard. Well, how about this? I want something with the rugged aura of friendly danger that one might get from modern era Mike Tyson mixed with the brash unemployability of Post Malone. Can you do that?
Face tattoos are $1,000. Samples on the wall.
Oh my gosh, no. I don't want a face tattoo. My mother would be so disappointed in me. Okay, well, maybe the problem is I'm being too specific. Let me be more abstract. I'm just going to toss some concepts for you to draw that explain what manliness is to me. How about meaningful dialogue?
No.
The sensible pursuit of objective journalism with the acknowledgement of personal bias.
No.
Heartfelt apologies.
Listen, man, I don't know how to help you. I don't know what you want.
I want to be manly. I want to be a man. Ed, help me to be a man.
Okay, look. There's a whole wall of designs over there. Go look over there and come back to me in 15 minutes. And if you can't find anything, then today just isn't the day.
And so I went up to that wall. But there were so many options. I saw angel wings and American flags, flaming skulls and mermaids, lions and tigers, and Celtic knots. Oh my. I was overwhelmed. I felt a panic wash over me, like when I go to Whole Foods and can't decide which hummus to buy. So I gave myself a pep talk. Ira, I said, you can do this. This can't be like the time you fled the Pottery Barn in tears. You must pick a pattern, because a tattoo not gotten is a dream deferred. And then it came to me, the manliest of tattoos. So I went up to the counter and I said it. Ink me, Ed. And as that hot needle seared symbols into my flesh, I thought about how my show sears my words into the brains of my listeners each week. And I thought, Ira, what leaves the more indelible mark?
Okay, take a look in the mirror. What do you think?
Oh, Ed, It's exactly what I wanted to get out of this journey. Thank you so much for being my tattoo artist and my new friend.
The first payment on your plan is $100. You get the invoice in a week.
The chest tattoo is striking. It was Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes, dressed in a shirt that said books, peeing on a television. Finally, my soul was revealed to the world, and I felt closer to being a man than ever before. But am I, Ira Glass, truly a man? Find out next episode when I sign up for an MMA fight and learn the limits of meaningful dialogue and heartfelt apologies. This is Ira Glass, signing off.
And now it's time for New Orleans' favorite star alligator, Willie, sponsored by Pud Beer. That's Pud Beer, with a taste all the cool kids love. In today's inaugural episode, our young hero Jeffrey receives the gift of a lifetime. Enjoy. Willie! Oh, Willie! Starring Jeffrey Boudreau and, of course, Willie the Alligator.
Goodness, don't you look all gussied up?
Yeah.
Oh, chin up, kid. Maybe when you and your mother get back, we can go fishing.
All right, come along or we're going to be late.
Bye, Grandpa. Be back soon.
And I do hereby set the following down as my last will and testament. Oh, hi there, Helen.
Hello, Caleb. We're sorry that Jeffrey and I are late.
Oh, that's all right. We just got through the legal rigmarole. Feel free to take a seat by Mr. Hank. Hank took care of Mr. Broussard's swamp, if you remember.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. I hear you're going to California.
That's right. As soon as this is over.
Perfect. Now that we're all here, let's see, where were we? Ah, yes. Do hereby set the following down as my last will and testament. Firstly, I appoint Mr. Caleb C. Brown, attorney at law, that's me, as my sole executor and charge him to administer my estate and execute whatever bequests are made therein. To my hired man, Hank, I leave the sum of $50, although he has probably stolen 10 times that much.
Oh, fuck that!
To young Jeffrey Boudreau, I leave the best thing I've got, my alligator Willie.
Oh, to me?
He's all yours, son.
Willie!
So the kid gets a gator and I get $50? This is bullshit! So who gets the swamp?
But why don't you take a seat, Jeffrey?
He can take the gator outside, Helen. Go ahead, Jeffrey. Take him out.
Come on, Willie. Come on. Hey! Gator ain't moving.
He's been like that since the old man died. Come on, I'll get him for you. Watch it, you son of a bitch!
Oh, come on now, Willie. You ain't remember me? I used to come over and play with you lots of times before Mr. Broussard died. But now you're mine, Willie. Mr. Broussard gave you to me. Oh, cheer up, Gator. Look, here's a stick. You want it? You want it? Go get it, boy. Oh, I feel you, Willie. I'd be sad too if my ma died.
Time to go, Jeffrey. Not only did Mr. Broussard give you Willie, but he also left me part of the money he owed me for. That's not important. What is important is that I bet he hid the rest of the money in his swamp somewhere. Cheap old pervert. Oh, well. Let's get you and Willie home, shall we?
Aye, let's go, Willie. Grandpa, look what I got. It's Willie. I got him in the will.
Oh, shit. That's a big-ass gator.
Come on, Willie. We're home.
Where's he going now?
Willie, come back! Willie!
Easy now, kid.
Can we go get him, Grandpa?
Baby, you can't make a gator stay, not if it doesn't want to.
But I ain't even get a chance, Ma. Please, Grandpa, can we go get him?
Look, kid, you gotta understand, Loma animal free just like human beings, and you can't force them to love you. They got to do the deciding.
But I used to play with him lots of times when I went over to Mr. Broussard's.
Oh, playing's one thing, boy. But it was Mr. Broussard's gator. He raised it from a hatchling.
Oh, please, we have to try, Grandpa. Who's gonna take care of him?
Oh, all right. Let's see if we go find him. Maybe he went back home to Mr. Broussard's. Let's go check.
Yay! Thank you, Grandpa. Oh, look, Grandpa, there's Willie. You was right. Whoa, why do you think he's so ornery, Grandpa?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing Mr. Broussard.
You know you're not supposed to be here, Grandpa. But I guess it doesn't matter anyhow now that Mr. Broussard is dead.
Oh, Mr. Hank, my apologies. Gator Don ran away from my grandson here, so I was helping him find it.
I figured he might try to come back. You ought to tie him up to a tree. He'll get over it. Damn, Gator.
That's all right. I'll get him. Come on, Willie, let's go. All right, he's changed should keep him here for the night.
But Willie don't like it none, Grandpa.
God damn! Why can't I think of a better way to keep him from leaving again? Can you?
No.
All right. Well, you and Willie sleep tight, boy. We can give him a proper leash tomorrow.
All right. Night, Grandpa. Night, Willie. Morning there, Willie. Willie? Willie?
What's all the racket in here?
Willie's gone again, Grandpa.
Oh, it's all right. We found him once. We can do it again. He's probably just went back to Mr. Broussard's swamp again. Oh, now, boy, don't you fret none. Let's get us now some breakfast, and we can go get him in the next episode, next week.
Really, Grandpa? You mean it?
Sure. Now let's get some grub. Can't catch gator on an empty stomach.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Willie. See you next Friday for another exciting adventure from everyone's favorite alligator, Willie.
This is WRYAT New Orleans Guerrilla Radio. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.